Hi, I'm Vanessa, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Words by Vanessa. Today the segment is going to be on gluten, and what the hell is gluten? In my spectrum, in my world, as many of you are starting to learn, I have 3 kids. I have a son from a previous relationship, and he's autistic, and I have 2 stepkids that are from my husband's previous relationship. For me, in my household, I believe what belongs to my husband belongs to me and vice versa. So my stepkids are mine. That's just the way I treat them. I think it's more harmonious in a household and it works well for us. So for us, gluten has always been about my son who is autistic, and he had these severe bouts with pain, diarrhea, things that were really uncomfortable, and it was very difficult for him to say what it was, but after many things of eliminating, we were able to figure out it was because of gluten and the bread and the pasta and things that we were doing. So that's how we came on course to remove gluten from his diet. Coincidentally, every once in a while he does it, has a piece of cake that he shouldn't do when he's not with our supervision, and he ends up feeling the side effects. So this is how we know conclusively that this is something that he shouldn't do. And with children that are autistic, nutrition is so important. So what happens when you have gluten with autistic children or any person in general, it prevents your intestines from absorbing nutrition. So it makes you almost malnutritious from the get-go. And we all know our kids need our nutrition, right? So the last year, my daughter, who is now 16, has been experiencing some very similar side effects. Now, I call her my carb whore because I swear if there's a fruit or vegetable inside or a bowl of pasta, she's going to go for that bowl of pasta in a second. So we have learned how to eat a little bit better. And last year she was complaining about joint pain and her brain being a little foggy. And I noticed that her skin, especially whenever she ate pasta or bread or she was out with her friends having cinnamon buns and all that crap that our kids eat when they're not under our supervision, she would come home and she would have almost like like goosebumps, like they called it like a chicken skin type of effect. So I made a bet with her for a lot of things. And we came to the conclusion after 3 days of no gluten that her brain fog was gone, her joints didn't hurt anymore, she didn't have cramping. And then we tested it, and of course I made a fantastic big think of lasagna, and she was in the toilet within 20 minutes. I know this is frankness to the absolute maximinus, but I think it's important for us to share what's really going on. So with 3 kids, eliminating gluten was a pain in the ass because they like cakes and cookies and everything that is not really good for you, but I think in moderation you should be able to have anything you really like. So my girlfriend Jenny, and she just happens to be my boss at Commandant Huset, has given me this amazing recipe. And I thought I would share it with you today. Because as a woman who has had a son who is 20, will be 21 soon, and from the age of 3 when he was diagnosed with autism, and to the age of 6 when I was able to understand the benefits of incorporating behavior modification, nutrition, and just plain old you're going to do this or I'm going to kick your ass, as sometimes you have to do with children. This is how we rolled. So you can't eat cakes, and I have been searching for the last 15 years for good cakes, for good cookies, for just things that are not gluten-free good, but as my fantastic woman that I poach her items all the time, her name is Nicole, and her website is Gluten-Free on a Shoestring. I have poached so many items from her website, and the stuff, like her motto says, it's not just good enough for gluten-free, it is just plain good. So I definitely direct you to go check that out if you have any problems. But this one was given to me by my boss at work, Jenny, and it's so simple because I think cooking should be simple, it should be healthy, and it should be good. So we're going to be doing this while we talk about it. So it is 1 jar of peanut butter, which is 360 grams here. And you just plop this bad boy out. Of course, it doesn't work with that big ass spoon. So I'm gonna have to come in here in my silverware drawer and pull out a spoon that will fit. So it's 360 grams of peanut butter. And it's 1 egg. And of course, I will write this down in my description. So if you want to follow the recipe, you're more than welcome to. So it's 1 jar, 360 grams of peanut butter. which is so sticky to get out. And who said I should be doing this right now? But I'm doing it for you, honey. This is what I have to do in order to help all of us cut the learning curve in half, so not one of us has to discover this shit by themselves. You know what I'm saying? So I have it all out. I think 1 jar of peanut butter. There we go. Scoop it all out. 1 egg. Very fresh egg, as you can see. Room temperature, that shit's amazing. And then, of course, organic sugar, because I'm a freak right now since I've learned so much about it. Half a jar of sugar. So half a jar of sugar is really 180 grams. So you do it just like that. Pop it in here, and there is your cookie recipe. Tell me that is not the most simplest, incredible thing. So you stir it up really good, like this. And then for me in my household, because you just can't have a peanut butter cookie, it has to be more, because that's just the way we are here. So with the peanut butter and the sugar, I think it's fantastic, but sometimes it gets a little sweet for me. So this is a fantastic treat for your kids. It's a great after-school snack because it's chock full of proteins, good carbs, healthy fats that are so good for our kids growing in their brains. So to this I add cranberries, dried cranberries, because of the sweetness of the peanut butter. I think the tartness of the cranberries comes out super great. And I'm gonna add some almonds, chopped up finely, for good measure. I have tried salty almonds. I have tried regular raw almonds, and it works out really good. So basically, this is the entire recipe. So you put it in the oven, preheated oven at 200 Celsius for 12 to 15 minutes. And this batch will basically make about 12 to 15 cookies. Now I have it here, and at the end I'll cut out a clip what it looks like amazing when it comes out of the oven. So I hope today you were able to get a takeaway on what is that we're talking about. We're talking about gluten and how it affects our lives. Some people, out of my 3 children, for example, my middle son has no problem with gluten. My oldest son does, and my youngest daughter does. So then it makes you think, what is it that we're doing in our life consumption now that after 10 years, we have an entire generation of young adults and children that are gluten intolerant? And of course, I think about my travels. So back in the day, you know, when you go all over the place, you go to Italy and you have a bowl of pasta with 3 other servings of fantastic food. A serving of pasta is like this much. I think it's not even a cup. Something simple, a good taste good. We have taken that 1 cup serving into a big ginormous plate of pasta. And we consume more bread and more carbohydrates in the form of bread, pastas. Now I feel like I'm preaching, but you know what the diet is like. You don't need me to tell you. We have hamburgers, we have tacos, we have shit that we shouldn't be having, and I just think we should change it. So in the description below, I'm going to give you the recipe. Head back to me and tell me what we could do, how we can talk about this. What do you feel about gluten, how it's affecting your life? Tell me how implementing perhaps a gluten-free diet has improved your life, and we can share information, because the entire premise of this show is to talk about what are we learning, sharing it, and cutting the learning curve in half. So I hope that you have taken a good amount of information from this, and I look forward to hearing from you. And don't forget, always put a little love into it.